this is a fascinating person to me, is Sundar Pichai, who's the CEO of Alphabet, CEO of Google. I admire in a romantic sense, the madness that is Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. So to me, the opposite of that is Sundar Pichai, who's like everybody loves him. And he's also a great listener. So he always brings people together. And so when the energy of that person in a room is like, the basic energy, if I were to summarize it, is like, I want to hear all the voices in the room. That's the energy he brings. And it's almost like he doesn't want to impose a final decision. He wants to hear all the voices, and somehow always the decision just falls out. I don't know what to say about that style of leadership, but it's always surprising to me how that love brought a lot of people together. And still, I mean, some of the greatest things Google has done over the past several years could be attributed to that. Continued innovation, bringing out the best out of people. There's, of course, bureaucracy, which I could criticize at the end of the day, which always happens with big companies. I would argue, actually, the dictatorial style of Steve Jobs and Elon Musk helped fight the bureaucracy, which is one criticism I would give of being a listener and being kind, is sometimes you can't cut through the bullshit as effectively. But he's one of the only people I've ever heard of who everybody loves. He's an inspirational figure to millions, especially in India. He's a celebrity in the best kind of way. Is there something you could say about that kind of leadership where you're never the asshole? You're never the dictator. You're always the listener and the compassionate, empathetic glue that brings the team together, basically with love.
Yeah, that's great leadership.
If you had to choose for Google, for large companies, is there something to be said about what is more effective? The dictator, the ruling by love, or ruling by fear?
First of all, everything's a dichotomy, right? And so to think that all the time you're always going to be able to just bark orders at people and they're always going to listen to you and you're always going to get the best result, that would not be smart. To think that every single time you're going to come to a 100% consensus amongst the troops and that decision is going to reveal itself without you nudging it along, that would also be short-sighted and naive. So what a good leader does is they stay balanced. And as much as they can, they listen to what the troops have to say. They take that feedback. Maybe they quietly nudge things. And I'm sure he does that. I'm sure he does some nudging that maybe no one even picks up on. You know, I like to say the best forms of leadership is leadership with minimum force required. So if I can go into a room as a leader and not say one single thing and the team can come to the right consensus and move in that direction, that's my preferred method.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to give them a little bit of a nudge, a 10% nudge in one direction. Okay, that's better than me walking in there and giving them 100% dictatorial direction of exactly what I want to have happen. Now, occasionally, if we have an emergency situation, people are starting to be frazzled and they're not sure which direction to go. Then sometimes as a leader, you have to walk in and say, all right, everyone, here's where we're going. And people get on board. Why? Because for many years or months or however long, you've trusted them to come up with a plan. And when you as a leader trust your team to come up with a plan, the team starts to trust you. And you get leadership capital. And as you build leadership capital, occasionally you need to cash in some of that leadership capital. You need to spend some of it. And maybe it is, hey, listen, here's the direction we're going right now. We'll debrief it later, but we got to make a move. And the team who trusts you says, Roger that, boss, we got it.